Becoming a sailor in the U.S. Navy is not easy, but NBC 24's Bri Malaska had the chance to experience it firsthand.
In an exclusive story you'll only see here, she was able to fly out to an aircraft carrier to get a taste of life at sea. She's live in the newsroom for us tonight. Bri, this seems like quite the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Ryan, Jamie, it was unlike anything I had ever done before. The life on board certainly doesn't have the luxuries that we do here at home, and the process to get there wasn't exactly easy. Take a look. Becoming a sailor in the U.S. Navy.
It's just a really great experience.
Less than 10% of the U.S. population gets to serve in the armed forces.
I wanted to join so I could travel, and I have certainly done that.
And I got the chance to have a go at it myself. But before we get to the cool part, let's back it up a bit. The first stop is at the Navy Exchange for our own set of coveralls to make sure we look the part.
Here you are. Welcome to the United States Navy.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Then a quick lesson on how to pack our sea bag to fit everything we'll need while we're out to sea.
Depending on how long the deployments are, maybe 6. I've done up to 8-month deployments.
We're ready to go. The next step, some serious training to make sure we know how to survive if our aircraft goes down on the way out there.
Once you're floating, you inflate your vest, and then you're safe. It's going to be cold, but at least you'll know that you're floating on the surface of the water, waiting for rescue, hopefully.
It's not as easy as it looks, trust me. Now, we're ready for flight. Equipped with our life preservers, or LPUs, our cranials, that uncomfortable thing on our head, and a crew of experts to guide us through it, we're off to the USS Harry S. Truman for our day underway. We flew out on a C-2 Greyhound known as the Cod. It's a cargo plane, so it wasn't exactly a first-class trip. But it was an incredible experience that not many people in the military get to do, going from 130 miles an hour to 0 in just a couple of seconds. After we're trapped by the tailhook of the plane, catching the massive wire that goes across the small runway, we land on the floating city in the sea, getting our first taste of the fast-paced flight deck.
It's floating freedom. That's what we all call it. Every time you hear a bird go off the flight deck, that's freedom.
We got to stand just a few yards from those big birds, the F-18 Super Hornets, as they took off from the aircraft carrier during the day. And at night, can you imagine flying at night off a moving ship? Back inside the ship, we walked the maze of ladder wells, passageways, and even stopped for some Starbucks. But the mission that Truman was on is some serious business. It's a training exercise to make sure they're ready to deploy as soon as the call comes in.
So we'll work for a couple of weeks. We'll exercise all of the missions of the carrier strike group to ensure that we're ready to answer the bell whenever or wherever we're called.
And it's a dangerous operation that takes a lot of preparation and attention to detail. Twice a day, the sailors that are available do a walkthrough to make sure there's no debris on the flight deck and in the hangar bay. If that debris gets caught in an engine, the results could be fatal.
Every job is very important. There's no job that's not important, because without one specific job, we wouldn't be able to function the way that we do and very efficiently the way that we do.
Giving these sailors an overwhelming sense of pride for the work they do while serving their country.
We've got the world's greatest Navy, and all of those sailors that you're meeting down here play integral parts in making that Navy operate.
Now, the sustainment exercise the Truman was on while we visited is a normal part of the operation for the aircraft carrier in between deployments to maintain operational readiness for the next assignment.
Well, that kind of makes our jobs here in the newsroom look pretty lackluster. What was the scariest, or what is the best thing that you're going to take away from this experience?
Honestly, the best thing, I don't even think I could pinpoint it. It was all just such a cool experience. And the way that the ship rocks, they say that you get your sea legs after you've been out there for a few hours. And I think I picked up on it pretty quickly. I was able to rock with the boat, if you will, for the whole time.
Well, it looked like a great experience. Thank you for sharing it with us tonight, Bri.
And great photography skills. Chuck Stein went with her, and he was the one having the drink from Starbucks. It was so good. And
it's crazy that they
I
have
know they were
Starbucks on
saying
the ship.
also, she was also saying like how hard it was to sleep because you could hear the jets taking off so much. So
Very
thank you
loud.
to the men and women aboard that ship.